Hello my dear friends, good morning, good afternoon, good evening based on what time you are watching this video. Friends, in this video we are going to discuss about your CA IPCC subject taxation, where our focus will be only on GST portion of your taxation subject, where the weightage is 40 marks. So our discussion will be limited to GST portion of your taxation subject for 40 marks. Friends, we are going to divide our discussion into three parts, where in the first part we are going to talk about certain myths and realities associated with the subject. The second part we are going to discuss whether GST is really a scoring subject. And the third part we are going to discuss about how to go about the classes for GST. Friends, when you talk about the first part, where you talk about myths and realities, you have to understand that friends, GST is a very new subject that came out on 1st of July 2017. And having said so, any new thing, any new subject or new thing will have a lot of attention, right? So GST had also good amount of attention when it came out. And when you talk about in the world of social media, we are living in the world where everything is there first published on the social media, and the information next comes to the person about whom the news has come. Now when you talk about that scenario, there is a lot of information available about GST on internet, even on your Facebook or Twitter, etc, etc. Now it really becomes very important for you to know what is really authentic and what is not. And when you talk about certain myths that I can explain you, so that you can easily understand, yes, there are myths that you have, and you have to be very clear with those myths. For example, when GST came out, it was many times it is assumed that GST has replaced the entire indirect taxation. It's not true. GST has replaced the major old indirect taxation, but yes, still there are few indirect taxation which are still alive. Not all the indirect taxation now have merged into GST. There are still few indirect taxes which are still alive. There's another myth where you talk about excise and VAT being not at all there. Again, not reality. Your excise duty and VAT is still relevant to the extent of certain notified goods. On certain goods, even today, you do have your excise duty and you do have your VAT. And another important point that you can easily correlate, whenever you talk about GST, the core decisions of GST are taken by a body called as GST Council. Now friends, you have to understand that this body GST Council only recommends the government, and thereafter the central government and state government have to implement them. Now say for example, there is a decision taken by GST Council and a meeting that is held of GST Council. The day the GST Council meeting is held, you will find the press release telling that what all decisions are taken by GST Council. Friends, you have to understand that immediately on the same date, those changes will not be effective. Those changes will be effective once they become part of the law. Which means if at all you are talking about sections of the act, again they have to be notified by the parliament or the legislature of state, as the case may be. If you are talking about certain rules and notifications, they will come into effect only from the date when the central government and the state government notifies them in form of notifications. Right? Just because GST Council has decided on something today does not mean that it has become part of the law from today. It will be effective only from the day it becomes part of the law. Which means parliament and state legislature have to do their work. When you talk about the act, when you talk about rules, regulations, notifications, the central government and the state government, along with the body called as your Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, have to do their work by releasing the notifications, etc. Right. So these are the important things that you have to understand. There are a lot of myths associated. You have to be very clear with those myths. Now the second discussion was all about whether GST is really a scoring subject. Friends, you have to understand that GST is really a very scoring subject, and we are going to focus on a mission called as 30 plus marks mission. 30 plus marks mission. Right, you have to ensure that you have to prepare the subject in such a way that your target is getting minimum 30 marks out of 40 marks. Is it possible? Yes, it is really possible if at all you have discussed or you have learned the subject in a very conceptual manner and you know each and every aspect of the subject. It is very possible, and it is a very simple task. It's not a difficult task. Once you are clear with all the concepts, you will find that this 30 plus marks mission is really achievable. Right. And the second area that you should focus is, when you talk about that 14 marks of GST, 12 marks is all your MCQs. 12 marks is all about your MCQs. Now friends, and a very important discussion on MCQs. Whether MCQs are a bonus or they are in fact a burden. Right, before MCQs were there, students are feeling that MCQs should come, and after MCQs are there, you'll see a lot of questions in MCQs where you'll see the 4 options of the MCQs and you'll find that each of the options seems to be right. If you have not prepared the subject conceptually, friends, you'll find that it is difficult to crack your MCQs. Obviously, there are certain good things about MCQs, that there are no negative markings, that you need not write the section number, notification number, rule number, that you are not required to put up the workings, right? So these are all certain important points that are there for MCQs. Obviously a good news. But when you talk about preparing the subject only by by-hearting the subject and not being conceptually thorough with the understanding, your MCQs will become a nightmare. You will find all the MCQs, at least out of say 12 MCQs, I am talking about those 3 or 4 MCQs that are there, which are very tricky MCQs, where you will find that all the options are seemingly right. Now for that purposes, you have to prepare the subject thoroughly. And after MCQs have come, my friends, you cannot leave any part of the subject. You have to see each and every corner of the subject. Right? Before MCQs are there, at least you could have left some area of the subject and you would have said that, okay, I will not read that area of the subject. After MCQs are there, you cannot do that. Each and every corner of the subject you should have gone through, plus what is required for cracking MCQs, not by-hearting, not at all by-hearting. Gone are the days where you can by-heart and sustain. No. Now you have to be very conceptually strong. Only then you can crack your MCQs. Obviously, your concepts will be very much relevant even for your practical questions. I am not discounting that. But for your MCQs, you have to be very strong, because what I feel is when you talk about these 12 marks, your target should be at least 9 marks. You should aim at least 9 to 10 marks. So your minimum target out of this 12 marks should be minimum 9 to 10 marks. And if you are prepared thoroughly, don't be surprised that you will find all the 12 MCQs correct. Right, I am just talking about the minimum area that you should be rest assured. And that plus something is always on the way, how much hard work you have put in. Now friends, moving on to our last part of the discussion, where we are going to talk about how to go about your GST classes. Friends, you have to understand that you have to prepare the subject in a conceptual manner. You should see each and every nook and corner of the subject. You should be conceptually thorough with everything. The focus should be on concepts rather than by-hearting. Right friends, for that purposes, you will be having the discussion of the subject GST for about 85 hours. Now friends, you have to understand that don't look into the number of hours. The number of hours are split into 2. 60 hours, around 60 hours will be the discussion of all the concepts with examples, and about 25 hours will be discussing about more than 500 plus conceptual questions. So we will be discussing more than 500 plus conceptual questions. While discussing the subject itself, you will be so much thorough that you know everything, every nook and corner of the subjects. So I did not want that discussion of questions in a separate part. That being the case, you will find the discussion in 2 parts. Your subject itself will be around 60 hours, and your conceptual questions which are discussed within the lectures will be 500 plus conceptual questions. I am talking about minimum numbers. It is 500 plus conceptual questions that will be worked out, and these questions are worked out on the basis of, my friends, an approach that we call it as 360 degrees approach. 360 degrees approach. We will be focusing on a particular concept in 360 degrees approach. We cannot see only one part of the concept and leave the other part. So we will always discuss any example in a 360 degrees approach. Always the example will be discussed in all the possible manners. Right. For this time the question may ask you a particular concept in one particular manner. Slightly if they change the question, the answer may differ. And for that you have to be prepared. Friends, understand that exam hall is never the right place for your research and development. Whatever research and development you have to do, that you should do before entering the exam hall. And your R&D with respect to GST, you please be rest assured, we will be discussing every nook and corner of the concepts. Right, and why we are calling it as conceptual questions? Friends, at one point of time we will be touching one concept. Right, obviously your exam questions will be merger of many concepts, but our focus will be at one point of time will be touching one concept, so that you are very clear with that concept. And your exam questions are nothing but consolidation of various concepts. Right, once you are thorough with one concept at one point of time, it is all about training yourself by merging all the concepts. We have also a Q bank called as Train Your Brain, where all your ICA questions will be consolidated. You need not refer any other material for your Master Q Bank. There's a Master Q Bank called as Train Your Brain, where you can get all the possible questions of ICA, right, starting from your May 2018 attempt till your November 2019 attempt. Whether you talk about your revision test papers, or whether you talk about your MCQs, or whether you talk about your exam papers, all of them are worked out in your Master Q Bank called as Train Your Brain, where there you will be talking about fusion or merger of multiple concepts, right? And when you talk about the discussion, we'll be doing the discussion by way of your multicolor module. Our entire discussion, friends, will be by way of your multicolor module, right? The text will be your multicolor. Now friends, it is just like that, not multicolor. Colors have been allocated properly based on each area. So we will find a proper color coding. That's a proper color coding that we are going to have in your multicolor module. Just to show you a sample, say for example, you are talking about a chapter called as levy of GST, right? The initial discussion will be always about your bird's eye view, what you are going to discuss in that chapter. It will be about all the sections, all the rules which are there in the chapter, everything will be given. So even your fear factor of remembering the section number, rule number, notification number will go out, because in certain places bird's eye view will be for 2.5 pages or 3 pages, where you will have all the section numbers, rule numbers, notification numbers. Now that will serve two purposes. You know what is going to be discussed in that topic. Second, you will no more have any fear of remembering the section numbers and rule numbers. And when you talk about the core areas, always say for example, just telling few examples of a color coding. Whenever you are going to talk about your definitions, they will always be given in green shade. All your definitions will be always given in your green shade. Whenever you are going to talk about your main heading, your main heading will always be there in blue color, blue shading with the white color font. And whenever friends you are going to talk about, say, your subheadings will always be there in red shading with white color text. And friends, whenever you talk about your content and subcontent, your content and subcontent will always be there in pink shade and orange shade. So your content and subcontent will always be there in pink shade and orange shade. And apart from that, if you are talking about, say, circulars, yes, there are going to be lot of circulars. We are going to discuss about 70 plus circulars. All your circulars will be there in purple shade. All your circulars will be there in purple shade. And friends, whenever you are going to discuss about your conceptual examples, it will be in plain font, white shade. All your conceptual examples will always be there in white shade. So the moment you see any conceptual examples, the moment you see a concept which is followed by, say, conceptual examples, all the conceptual examples will always find in plain white shade. So you'll see a lot of conceptual examples being discussed, and any conceptual examples that you see during the discussion will always be there only in white shade. So this purple shade which stands for the circular. So you'll find a lot of conceptual examples from this page. All the conceptual examples you'll find only in white shade. So that discussion will ensure that you are having due attention. Now friends, you might ask, what is the use of this multicolor? I just want to tell one thing. Whenever you go to some place and say for example you are going to a saloon and you find a magazine there and a newspaper there, your brain will always tell your hand to go and pick the magazine. It is by default. Your subconscious mind will always give the direction to the hand to go and pick that magazine. I am talking about a scenario where it is having the same content. Obviously few might be interested in the news and few might be interested in the masala. So assuming that it has got the same content, you will always prefer a magazine over a newspaper. Assuming that the content is the same, your preference will always be the magazine. So that is one understanding. We thought that when you talk about your multicolor text, it will be very easy for you to go through the discussion. You will understand what we are discussing at what point of time, and more importantly, see, during the discussion you will find it very simple, but it is all about your revision and smart revision. right? When you're doing your revision and followed by second revision, which is smart revision, at that point of time you have to decide, okay, now I'm very, very clear with the concepts, let me directly see conceptual examples and let me work out the questions from your train your brain module. So at that point of time, that color will help you out. Okay, circulars are never telling anything new. If I've understood the law clearly and I understood the circular when it was discussed in the class, I need not revise the circular. So whenever you see that purple color shade, you will tell that, okay, I know that concept thoroughly. Now no need to invest time in the circular again. So that will be very, very, very helpful when you're talking about your revision. Friends, understand that always remember this thing for all the subjects. Whenever you're talking about any preparation, your hard work is required. Hard work is required initially, and hard work is followed by your smart work. So both have got their equal importance. If at all you're talking about a debate between hard work and smart work, which is required, understand that in your CA, both are equally important. When you're starting with any subject, at the time of discussion about the subject, what is required is your hard work. What is required is your hard work. And friends, when you're talking about your revision and second revision, if time permits, and exam day revision, it is always smart work. It is always smart work. Both cannot replace each other. Both have got their equal importance. So during the classes, it will be all about your hard work. And when you talk about during your revision, your second revision, if time permits, and exam day revision, it will be always smart work. So we'll be sharing also your ABC analysis, where you can know what are the important topics, what are not so important topics, what are the least important topics. So that ABC analysis will be there, but that will be shared in the end, so that whenever you're talking about your initial preparation, it should be focused only on your hard work. So you have to understand that hard work and smart work cannot replace each other. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you.